Dear grandchild, I would like to share with you my greatest accomplishment. Meet me at the majestic Nightingale Theatre at 8 o'clock sharp tonight.
Hi everyone, this is the HOPA Gamer and welcome to the HOPA Gaming channel. Our featured game today on Throwback Thursday Gaming was released in August 2011 by Blue Tea Games and published through Big Fish Games. The player portrays the role of the granddaughter of the old director of Nightingale Theatre who mysteriously disappeared during a fire 40 years ago. Insurance job? You be the judge. Fast forward to the present time. You received a letter from your grandfather telling you to go to the Nightingale Theatre for its reopening, and included in the letter is a golden ticket. Hey, granddaughter who I haven't seen for 4 decades. I may or may not be dead, but I'm sure that I'm reopening a burned down theatre. Do you want to come on your own? No, it's quite late at night. Yeah, sure. What could possibly go wrong? Good. Be sure to come on your own. Not that there's anything creepy going on in there. Oh, there's a green ghost of a ballerina who shows up every now and then. And there's a monstrous being inside too who is strong enough to smash the building. But don't worry about that. You'll be fine. Okay, going back to the gameplay. On the game interface, on the center part is where the inventory is located to show you what items you have that can be used as you go about solving the mystery in the theater. On the right-hand side of the inventory are shortcuts to the strategy guide, map, and option features, and on the left-hand side are the hint and vision features. Inside the book containing the map, there's a section for characters that you will meet along the way, which gets updated as the game progresses. The main characters that you will encounter here, either as live humans or as spectral beings, are Grandpa Wilson, his principal employees Andreas, Abigail, and Rose, another employee, well, it's safe to say that she's less favored compared to Abigail and especially Rose, a lounge singer called Darcy, billed in the theater as the Velvet Voice, a college student called Rebecca, who needs to be saved every now and then, clumsy cow, and the town mayoress. As it is a HOPA game, it's littered with puzzles and hidden object minigames. But wait, there's more! You can also look for any morphing object which possibly became a hit amongst the HOPA fans, as Blue Tea also incorporated this in their Dark Parable series. Along the way, you get to experience ghostly apparitions as the building releases its memories of past incidents and characters. When dialogue is involved, this will be delivered in text format and spoken by a voice actor. You might also notice that this game is littered with references about birds. From the very name of the theater itself, Nightingale, to the presence of birds hanging out on a tree outside the theater, to the shared love of birds by Rose and Andreas, the presence of real and stuffed birds in Andreas' bedroom, and the black swan, white swan room decors of Rose and Abigail's bedrooms. Okay, this is the part where the plot twist and ending are discussed, so if you prefer figuring out the mystery yourself, feel free to stop watching this part right now. So on the surface, the plot is quite simple. The main protagonist is summoned by a beloved grandparent, presumed dead but certainly blamed for the fire that happened years ago in a now derelict theater. Protagonist arrives and tries to solve the mystery of whether granddad is dead or alive, and possibly watch a promised show. Ghost apparitions galore. Oh, and one scary strong humanoid presence. Yeah, Outlast vibes, man. But as one goes along with this game, I found out about the tense relationship between my in-game grandparent and his named principal employees, Andreas, Abigail, and Rose, and in the most diplomatic manner I can say, Granddad, you utter bastard. We have two ballerinas who are the best of friends. One even proclaimed the other as like a sister to her, and I assume are the two main stars of the ballerina show.
They are cast in a production quite like Swan Lake and are billed equally. And what did my entrepreneurial grandfather do? Ditched Abigail and essentially turned it into the Rose Show. And he's not even subtle about it. Way to go, Grandad. Not only did he do it because he's obviously playing favorites, but because he's dating Rose and even shown to have proposed to her.
What the actual Hang on. You're supposed to be my granddad in-game granddad. There's an evidence of young me with you in your office, so there's a chance that you're married and had a grown-up child who is one of my parents, and I'm definitely sure that my grandmother is obviously not Rose because you've just proposed to her and she died young after getting poisoned by Abigail. And no, Abigail is also not my grandma because essentially she and Rose are of similar age, and most of the time in the game, I don't know whether she's dead or alive. Well, until it's finally revealed that she's actually the town mayoress. Props to her, by the way, for surviving the fire and eventually having a political career. So, which means my grandpa Wilson is Harvey Weinstein his way in the theater. Well, no wonder Andreas gave him an epic punch in the face and Abigail was so enraged that she framed him for Rose's death. If I was Abigail, I would have given that poison to him first. Or to quote and unquote Doralee Rhodes in the 9 to 5 movie,
I'm gonna get that gun of mine, and I'm gonna change you from a rooster to a hen with one shot.
Okay, calm down, Nee. I know that it's also possible that my grandparents may have been divorced or Grandpa Wilson is widowed, but that doesn't give him excuse to give his girlfriend a starring role and rub it into her supposed BFF's face. Hell, dude.
Abigail is portrayed here as a hell hath no fury, sworn to avenge type. In the beginning, she is shown as Rose's best friend and colleague. As she and Rose were the only ones shown with solo portraits in the main theater, she may have been a very talented prima ballerina, maybe even better than Rose, if the written notes found lying around in the theater were to be believed. But because of theater director, aka Mr. Couldn't Keep His Pants Up Grandpa Wilson, favored her best friend, she plotted to kill Rose.
You might think of this as an overkill. I mean, if my boss took me off an important gig and gave it to somebody else, especially my bestie, okay, I'd be very upset. I mean, I'd probably smash up my bedroom, which she did, rightfully so, or the dressing room, and confront my best friend, then hand over my resignation and move to another theater company. Just give me a good reference and my last salary, mate, alright? See ya. Or could it be that there's more to their like-sisters friendship? And the way she reacted, snapping her pipe into two with just one hand, gives off that jilted lover vibe. Grandpa Wilson wasn't in a relationship with her while Andreas was the rebound. And to go through the lengths of learning how to concoct poison and, spoiler alert, exact a revenge on Grandpa Wilson's grandkid 40 years later, who was probably too young to remember this event and probably don't even remember them. Could it be that she's also secretly in love with Rose more than she cares to admit?
And about Rose. Although the game stated that she's a very beautiful girl, there's not much dimension in her character compared to Andreas and Abigail's. On top of that, she may have been a very talented ballerina, as evidenced by the trophies on the shelf over her bed. Note that over in Abigail's bedroom, a framed photo of her and Rose is displayed in a similar spot. Draw your conclusions if you will. May be the reason why Grandpa Wilson decided to give her a solo show. Or it could be because she was dating him at that time. Blue Tea leaves that for us to discuss. While there were flashback scenes and photos of her outside work hanging out with Abigail and Andreas, there seems to be no evidence of her with Grandpa Wilson on a date.
Okay, not that I'm happy to see him in the arms of a girl who's just barely gone over the legal age, but the only scenes that we see them together revolves around her solo performance, and the closest to the outside workplace scene was when he proposed to her. But we don't really get to see into Rose's mind. Does she genuinely love Grandpa Wilson? Or is it just for her career advancement why she accepted his marriage proposal?
The only hint that she does care for him was during the flashback when the fire was starting to engulf the theater, and with her dying breath, asked Andreas to save her fiancé. And now as a ghost, she's shown to be a bit hostile towards the player's character at the beginning. Or was it because she knows that this is all just a trap set by Abigail? So why didn't she speak?
Just because you're a ghost now, Rose, doesn't mean that you can't talk. Maybe try charades or sign language or something?
But the one that I feel is the real victim in this deadly love triangle, or rather, love cube, is Andreas. There was given evidence that he and Abigail were lovers, and in the bonus game, revealed that she only turned to him after Grandpa Wilson turned her down and chose Rose instead. There's a photo of him and Rose, which the player's character remarked as a sign of their shared love of birds.
Could there be that there's also something subtly going on between them? Or even if it's just an innocent buddy-buddy relationship given their shared interest, they wouldn't be able to keep this away from Abigail's eyes. Might even see this as an additional evidence on why she had to bump off Rose.
And because it was eventually revealed that he indirectly caused the fire that possibly caused deaths of the audience and the rest of his co-theater employees, his guilt led him to remain in the theater. So, despite his initial aggression towards the player's character, the fact that he kept birds as pets in the whole time of living in the derelict theater suggests that there's still humanity left underneath his otherwise grotesque appearance. The bonus game shows that there's more to this mystery than just a deadly love cube. Once I've opened the secret door in Grandpa's office, which Mayoress Abigail was trying to lockpick in the main game, lo and behold, a theater for his magician sideline. So, aside from being a theater manager and ballerina tutu chaser, he's also moonlighting as a magician, and not just a simple pull out a rabbit from a top hat kind. To quote and unquote Grandpa,
You can look into the past with a unique vision technique.
Although I suspect that he may also be the resident magician, Great Hogdini, Hog for hidden object games for the uninitiated. Yeah, nice pun there, Blue Tea.
Anyway, another room that needs to be unlocked in this room was eventually revealed to be a bedroom belonging to Darcy. Yes, that Darcy, that lounge singer. She who was billed as the Velvet Voice.
Hold up. So, while we're treated in this melodramatic love cube where most of those involved are dead, and just when we thought that Rose was the main girl, guess who's got her bedroom behind a secret door in Grandpa Gigolo's office? Darcy! So, where does Darcy fit in this narrative? It was eventually revealed that Darcy was the one who taught Abigail how to make the poison. Although I wonder why she did it. Like, what does she gain from this? It's not like every day in a workplace that you go to a work colleague who wasn't previously mentioned that they were close before and say, "Hey Darcy, I know I get more audiences than you and you're just a measly lounge singer, but can I ask you a tiny favor? I want you to help me make a poison because I want to kill Rose." "Oh, hi, yeah, sure I can. Come to my bedroom and I'll show you. You know where it is, right? It's behind the door in Mr. Wilson's office. But it's not like I'm his secret favorite or anything."
Look at Darcy's room. Notice that there's a gargoyle in the middle of her headboard. Oh, I can only hope that she's not the kind who quickly bolts upright whenever she wakes up if she wants to avoid having a concussion every morning.
Put that headboard. Oh God!
Well, you do you, Darcy. But notice that right above her bed is her very classy portrait.
Jesus! What the hell was that? And what is that? Abigail, girl, do you seriously want to ask help from Darcy? I mean, it's one thing to ask a knowledgeable colleague on how to commit murder, but to ask somebody with demonic vibe is a much stickier situation.
Several puzzles later, we get treated to this scene. Aww. So, the Velvet Voice have some secret heartache, and judging from this, has something to do with my in-game Grandpa.
Again, Grandpa Wilson, you've got a lot of explaining to do here when I finally found you. And God help me that I don't kick you in the... What? That's it? After all that emotional roller coaster that you put us through, Blue Tea, we got treated to the joyful information that the sequel didn't happen. Oh, f*** you, game. So far as of this message, Blue Tea has not given us any closure on the saga. Blue Tea, if you're out there watching this, please end this torment and give us a sequel. Please. So that wraps up our Throwback Thursday Gaming. Be sure to be on the lookout when we feature the gameplay. I mean, we'll attempt to show you how we play the game, okay? I get to use the hints whenever I'm stumped. Once again, this is the HOPA Gamer, and thank you for watching. Bye!